Up with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Whoa, welcome everybody. Look at that smile. Look at Troy's smile. I love it. It's like welcoming everything, everyone, every being, every adversity, every journey. That smile is so welcoming. Thank you for that smile. I appreciate that. At my work, when I do lecture, I always tell my students, hey, I need those smiles. That's how I get paid. Otherwise, I get paid 50 cents per hour. For real. Teachers, it is what it is. It has to be a passion, guys. If you want to be a teacher and you want to make money, it's not happening. Some teachers do, but what we do is we love civic, really helping others and learning. Most of us probably think that our teachers have some of this wisdom and they just know everything. It doesn't work like that. A good teacher actually knows that we learn from our students, called experiential learning. And that's what you're doing today. We're going to learn from Troy through experience, and we are learning together. So we are going to be discussing about his halt and his upcoming book or manuscript. Remember, guys, Troy Carnes is a multifaceted individual. He is an author, a speaker, a ghostwriter, a cancer survivor, and a recovering alcoholic and business consultant as well. So he has developed a very practical self-care framework called HALT. Okay, if you don't know what HALT means, it's hungry. When you're like, oh, I'm hangry. Yeah, you're angry and hungry. Yeah, that's it. So hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. He's highlighting the 4 fundamental states that can impair our decision making and emotional well-being. If you talk to me and I'm having hypoglycemia because I haven't had sugar, you're not going to get an answer. You'll be like, CJ, are you speaking English? Or is there some other language you know about? Because, like, I'm just not there, right? So he emphasized that by addressing these basic needs, individuals can actually enhance resilience, clarity, and balance in their lives. And his approach encourages proactive self awareness to prevent crises rather than just reacting to them, right? So, for instance, ensuring proper nutrition actually processing emotions through writing, and that yes, Troy does want you to write. I was trying to prove to him that I do write. It's on my notebook. I take notes because I love colors. I love highlighting. I love pink and black and blue, right? But connecting with others and getting adequate rest are all strategies that he advocates. So we're going to talk to him about those, and we're going to have deepening questions in terms of how to manage your life. And Troy's like, I don't like the word manage. I think we're gonna switch a little bit and level our vocabulary today, and we're gonna use nurture. And I'm like, okay, you use nurture, I'll use manage. I like to manage. So I love homework. I love to-do lists. I don't know about you people, but for anybody who can relate, please let me know. I'm not the only one. But anyhow, before we go to Troy, I'm actually going to be inviting you guys to our new anthology. This anthology actually is with Susanna Dawn. This is our project number 6 together in the last year and a half. Yeah, it's going to be a year and a half in June, actually. So this is our 6th project. So far, five of our book has hit #1 international best-selling. And I think last one we is the first one that we didn't have a theme last one, but this one we have a theme called grateful, right? Haven't you had a time before in your life or maybe currently where you're actually, grateful for someone or something that shifted your mindset, your life? And Susanna was basically saying that she was grateful for me and my friendship and my guidance because she got an interview for a job that she would have not otherwise have had because it's not posted, it's within internal. And then I told her, I said, no, I'm grateful for you and your kindness to me, and I'm reciprocating through these actions. So literally, we both like argued for an hour and a half about who's grateful first, me or her. And we were like laughing about it. It's like chicken or the egg, chicken or the egg. But really, this one is called Amplify Your Voice, right? Share your story in Grateful, a heart wide open, to get featured alongside powerful, purposeful, driven voices. You never know who you will inspire around the world. Here's a good thing. Every single Sunday at 7 p.m. PST, we are actually giving away $1,000 worth of publicity. And included in that is actually a right collaborators with us to get in for free. Another thing we're doing is that if you bring in 4 of your friends, you can get in for free. But just showing up at 7 p.m. on Sunday, we have a raffle. So the more you comment on our YouTube channel, so when I'm on TV, guys, Thursdays and Sundays, if you're on LinkedIn, I can't see your comments. So if you want to win, right, 1,000 worth of amplification, your message, please go to our YouTube channel on Sunday and make comment as many as possible. We already have one winner, April Wyatt. So congratulations, sister. She wrote with us already before. And so now she's actually going back again to our loop. And we love, love, love everybody. Another thing is rice coffee. For those of you who likes to drink coffee, or maybe you're not a coffee drinker, but you're like, I need a little caffeine. This actually has 48% caffeine, and it is mushroom. No, 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 not that kind of mushroom. Okay. There's no psychedelic effect and going crazy. No. Okay. This mushroom has 6 different types of mushroom. It has cordyceps for energy, lion's mane for focus, reishi for stress relief, shiitake for immune support, turkey tail for healthy digestion, and king trumpet for fighting oxidative stress. So it doesn't matter what you do, wear makeup, not wear makeup, no sunscreen, you'll age no matter what. And the environment that we're living in with all the pollution, your oxidative stress, your skin and all that goes away anyway. So you might as well drink something for it. So that's the kind of mushroom I'm taking. Okay. So don't be like, Dr. Leland. No, no, no. Don't be don't be going crazy, but these are good mushrooms. And also, I'm so happy we are almost done with our academic publishing. I'm actually inviting you guys to our conference. It is free, April 28th and 29th, but we have a lot of freebies on top of the free. We're actually trying to solve six world's problem right now. Just six out of all the millions and hundreds of thousands of problems. We have to start somewhere, and all of us, six individuals, including myself, are solving a problem. But basically, we're giving you academics to prove the point, so that we have shown you that there is credibility on what we're giving you. So it's backed by research, not just backed by our passion. It's passion is yes, right? It's never going to go away. For me, mentorship for women and girls is my passion. I have two daughters, right? So that is what we're doing. So hopefully we can see you. And of course, guys, I'm always going to be on Friday at Influencing You. Influencing You is a platform for influencers. So you'll see global influencers in there, and I'm one of them. And I teach you how to do anything social media on a budget. And every time you're on my show live, because I do live on Fridays at 10 a.m. PST, you'll always get a freebie from me, and basically go from there. I have a lot to say, but you know what? We're going to stop here because I really want to see Troy. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Bye, guys. Morning, afternoon, evening, early morning, because I see Homer here. It's like midnight in the Philippines. Good afternoon and good morning. Right now in California, it's 9:12, and I think 12:12. Ooh, 12:12 for East Coast people. Are you guys ready for Troy? I am. Hi, Troy.
Yo,
What's
uh,
up?
what a great intro. Can I blow up your whole plan because I'm super excited about your book about gratefulness.
Sure.
We can come back to your write up, but it made me think about gratitude and I have just like changed my thoughts about gratitude so much in the last couple of years. And I'll give it'll be quick and then we can get back to your regularly scheduled program. But like, I
Yes.
love that you are going to get people writing about this because it's something that is really close to my heart. Here's what I changed about gratitude in my life going through cancer and all of this is that I now really want to think about gratitude as an action and not a state of being. So, we used to have these great big Friendsgivings. We'd have 20 people across like a big row house in DC, and we'd go around and tell everybody what we're grateful for. And, all the hits, and I played the hits too, right? I'm grateful for this food. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for this place, whatever. And man, now I just really want to be grateful for the people who take action to make my life a little bit better. So instead of grateful for the food, I'm grateful for who cooked. Instead, like I want there to be an action behind it because then I can share it. And when you get to share the gratitude, it's a multiplying effect. And like some stuff just happens in life. It's lucky, it's unlucky, it's whatever. Like it feels weird to me to be grateful for luck. I want to be grateful for people who take action. And that's my goal now. I just always want to say thank you and think about gratitude from an active voice point of view. What are people doing to make my life a little bit better? And that could be opening the door or watching my kids or sending me a nice hello note and everything like that. So anyway, that's my like little blurb about gratitude because that changed completely for me. I used to feel grateful for my state, and now I'm more grateful for people's actions. So
Yeah. Sometimes I'm also grateful for people's inaction.
sure.
To be
Yeah.
honest with you, right?
Yeah.
There are people that don't like you for no reason. And if they don't act, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. That's a good
Uh,
point. Yeah.
less
I like
drama,
that.
less
That's
drama, like, oh, I'm
yeah.
grateful for your less drama. That's inaction. Thank you. I'm just saying, throwing it out
Yeah.
there. I used to think like, when my husband told me like, oh, you have to be grateful for everything, the goods and the bads, but also the ones that like what you don't have. And our mindset, like, if you don't have, you're less than. But think about it, we're grateful that we don't have cancer. Hello, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
You need
Yeah.
to be grateful for that. And so
Sure.
you have to always look at, I think I'm seeing life more into the heads and tails all at the same time, not one or the other.
Hmm.
Because people will
Yeah.
always tell you one or the other. Doesn't have to be, it could be both, right? And I think if
Yeah.
you're operating in both lanes, you see a little bit more better because you're, heart wide open. It's open for everything.
Sure.
Um, I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so we totally both ADHD in our conversation.
Yeah, that's
But
fine. Like
hey,
I didn't know it was in your opening rundown, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have so much to say about that." So that's a
but I'm
snippet,
grateful
but
for you. I'm grateful for you and your time being here, This is your second time, and I wanted
yeah,
to actually dig deeper this time because your manuscript is coming up probably between June to August, right?
yep,
And I wanted to get the meat and potatoes of your foundation,
yeah,
like halt. So let's start
yep.
with, how do I recognize the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger in my life?
Oh man. Okay, this happens to me all the time. We eat for so many reasons, right? And sometimes because our bodies are hungry, but sometimes because we're bored, sometimes because we're upset, sometimes because we're happy, right? Like our food, or sorry, our hunger and our emotions are intertwined. I like to say they're tangled up tighter than a ball of yarn that a kitten's had for an hour, right? You'll never be able to untangle them. And for me, the way that I differentiate between eating because my emotions are telling me to and eating because my body is telling me to is to really stop, take a breath, and say, and just ask the question: Is my body hungry? And if the answer is no, and I find myself reaching for a snack because I don't have anything else to do, and I'm just like walking around my house and just end up at the refrigerator or the cabinet, then I say, oh, okay, well, I do have something else to do. I'm probably procrastinating. Let me go do that. If it's because I'm upset, well, then I have a whole wide range of actions that I can take that aren't reaching for a cookie, right? It's writing in the journal, chug a glass of water and go for a walk, lots and lots of things. And then if the answer is yes because I'm hungry, then what I've really started to do is try and be a little bit more intentional about my snacking, where I say, oh, okay, I'm eating a snack, I'm going to have something that's very satisfying, so that it's not hollow and then I go back for another snack, another snack, another snack. Like if I'm hungry, like let's eat something that's going to nourish me, and I'm going to be less impulsive. I'm going to feel better. My mood's going to brighten up. So that's it. Yeah, that's a good question. Nobody's asked me that.
You know me, I'm always digging deep. I'm like,
Yeah.
what kind of questions can I ask him? Well,
Yeah.
that's so true. I'm learning to pause and listen to my body signals because I've noticed, and I haven't really noticed. I don't have a gallbladder either because I almost died and I had almost sepsis from my gallbladder. So we're just not gonna go there anyway. But
I don't mean to laugh at you, but that's just a great delivery. I don't
yeah,
have a gallbladder because I almost died. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I almost died. So they just took it
Yeah.
out. And I was living in Boston. I had to go emergency flight to San Diego because my kids were small. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
every single thing that you can possibly think of that could go wrong, I think it went wrong on my end. So I'm like, I'm learning. It's okay. I haven't died yet. So we'll just go with this. That's why when people try to like come at me, I'm like, bro, no, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Today's
Yeah.
different. But
Yeah.
what I realize is that there comes to a point when you eat too much when you have stomach ache,
Oh
when you
yeah.
eat too much. Like I have
Yeah.
that moment, right?
Yeah.
And I also have the moment where, I don't know about you, but like there's moment where I'm like, I already ate like 30 minutes ago, but why do I feel hungry again? Like what is happening? And
Yeah.
then I know that it's emotional. It's because I'm craving for sugar. It's
Yes.
not like food. From the top. Like, I'm like, okay, CJ, you just ate something wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I talk to
Right.
myself. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, okay, well, honoring the difference between my needs
Oof.
and wants. Those are two big things that I have to teach my kids and myself all the time. What is a
Everyone need.
need
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
is a want, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hungry, that conversation. We can go
Yeah.
out of that. Now let's go to angry.
Sure.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the root cause of recurring anger, you think, sometimes?
Hmm. Okay. There's a couple answers here, and in my writing, angry fits the acronym of HALT, but it's really kind of a stand-in for all of our emotions. Here's the interesting thing about research on anger is that it's really like a negotiating tactic to get what you want. And when you look at it that way, to me at least, it takes on a whole new meaning, because you can then ask yourself, like, what am I trying to accomplish here with my anger? Like, what do I really want? There's a gap between what I'm experiencing and what I want. And if I think it's because somebody is standing in my way, I'm going to get angry about that, right? And so it's hard to do in the moment. I mean, we all get angry, and we've all had those moments where we just react instead of respond. But if we can train ourselves to just take a moment and think, well, what am I actually trying to get here? And what is in my way? I found that a lot of times anger and conflict between people come from miscommunications and not necessarily malice, right? Sometimes are people out for you, sometimes, but I think very few. I think most of the time people are just kind of going along their business, and they're thinking about themselves, just like I'm usually thinking about myself. Like, people put themselves in the center of their own story. And if they anger you, it's not because they mean to, it's because there's a miscommunication or they didn't mean to. And so if you can think that first and slow down a little bit, I guess slow down is always kind of the theme we're coming back to. But if you think about anger as a negotiating tactic, then you can tell yourself, oh, what am I trying to get? And be a little bit more clear on your own wants, desires, requirements, and move forward in a more emotionally regulated state. And it's going to end up helping your relationships, which is the big bonus.
I love that. So for me, when I'm reflecting on that own question, is about like often a mix of unmet expectations and boundary violations, right?
Ooh,
Both
sure. Yeah.
mine and others, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
realize that when I don't communicate my needs clearly or hold a space for my own
Yeah.
standards,
Yeah.
resentment builds up for me, right?
Oh my
So
gosh.
so
Yeah.
leveling up to me means like acknowledging that where I've been
Yeah.
hurt, realigning my expectations with reality, because sometimes our expectations are a little high up there, and then
Yeah.
reinforcing healthy boundaries, because it's not just to protect myself and my peace, but to also grow with intentions. Because here's what I've found out, okay? I've been married 22 years. And my husband hates it when we have a conversation and I finish his
Dude,
sentence.
CJ, did you get married when you were born?
You're funny. I'm close to 50. Hello? Like what? My kid is 21 this year. My oldest is 21 and my youngest is 18. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So, when we have a conversation, I finish his sentence, he hates it. He's like, "You don't know what I'm trying to say." I'm like, "Uh-huh. Yep, but heard this
Uh-huh.
before, right?" But I'm
Yeah.
not honoring his boundaries. And he's an engineer and an architect, so he likes
Okay.
to go in detailed, and I have
Yeah.
ADHD. So halfway to his sentence, I'm already done, right?
You're there.
And he's trying to
Yep.
imagine that conversation in my household for 22 years, right? Like, and
Yeah.
so I think what it is that we think we know what others are thinking or about to say, and we assume a lot that we know what they're trying to say. Okay, that's my
Yeah.
bad, and I've seen that. What happens also is that when you know somebody, it could be a friend, and because even like, look out, we lived together for 22 years, and sometimes I still don't get it. Like, what's happening? And he still don't get it, right? Imagine
Right.
if that's just a friend, right? Or even your best friend, but you don't really know each other, like living together, and you think they know what you're feeling because you're a friend, and you're assuming that I'm upset. They know exactly why I'm upset. Huh?
Yeah.
Right? And I think we
Mhm.
always think that everybody has a crystal ball and they know what you're feeling or thinking. So to me, it's like that expectations, make sure you know your boundaries, but make sure you also communicate what they are. That don't just like, oh, Troy knows me. Troy knows he wouldn't cross me that way. Troy doesn't know, you know? So to me,
Right.
communications, when you said that, is expectations and boundaries. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, a couple of 8 million notes there. Um, Expectations are incredibly difficult. And, there's I don't know if you want to call it a saying. I guess it's a saying that I learned in recovery that was, it goes like this: expectations are pre planned resentments,
I
right?
agree. Yeah, I agree.
And in my opinion, sometimes people take that to say, well, you got to let go of expectations and instead embrace acceptance. And I think largely that's a good point, but I don't think you can give up every expectation. I don't think we're built that way, but here's the big learning for me is that if you're going to have an expectation, be ready to have a resentment for it. Make sure that expectation is important, or the resentment is going to be important enough to have that expectation. And if it's not, then let go of that expectation, right? Because you are already deciding to be resentful about it. And if you can live with that, then go ahead and have your expectation. But if not, then maybe that's an expectation you can let go.
I teach my kids, I try. I'm like, I try.
We
They have a
all
brain of their
try. We
own.
all try. Yeah.
Um, Sometimes when you come into relationships or friendships or business partners without huge expectations is actually better. But most of the time, the key to basically that balancing the expectations is having a breakdown on how to handle expectations, right?
Sure.
Remember, guys, that you can't control others. You can barely control yourself. Let's be honest. Okay.
Mhm.
Especially if you don't know yourself. Ask yourself, are my expectations realistic? Are they flexible? And communicated based on assumptions, right? Because what am I hoping for? What does it matter to me if this doesn't get met, right? If your expectations are mostly based on pain or perfectionism, I know some people who are perfectionism there. Soften them with compassion. Soften them a little bit. And also, I would say that speak your needs before you feel resentful. Use the I statements like, I was hoping with a line on this timeline. Can we revisit it together? Instead of like, you need to meet this timeline,
Sure.
right? The way you
Yeah.
like, and then also like managing for others. Are you taking responsibility for their feelings or their results? There's a difference,
Mm.
right? Like, here's what I can do. Here's what I can't. Let's set that mutual expectations. Because when people, especially for social media, most people think that when you do publicity, you get a whole bunch of sale, ROI, rate of return right away.
Mm.
Publicity is not that. We're not inside sales or outside sales. You need to know the difference. The problem is nobody knows the difference. There is
Right.
expectations, right?
Yeah.
So I always said, when you want to work with me, I'll let you know if you're going to be in. It's nothing to do that you're bad. I want to know that your mindset is clear before I deliver, because I don't lose. I'm a sore loser. I'm just going to tell you that. I don't lose. Okay. When I get my mind into it, I will. That's why when people like, oh, you're taking my, like I like try to look cute or whatever when I'm out. And some ladies were like, oh, you're trying to take my man. I'm like, girl, if I want to take your man, I will take him. Let me tell you something. Right. But you're lucky I'm already married. I don't need nobody. You're fine. You're
Like, I've
clear.
been married 22 years. I'm good. I'm good
Yeah.
there. I don't need
Right.
another. Yeah.
I was like, I just like try to look cute. Like, listen, this 50-year old right now, I'm just trying to kick. Like, this is the new 30. No, my back hurts, my knee hurts, I can't walk. No, we're not talking about that, But setting that expectation that's like, what can I do? Here's what I can't do, right? I
Yeah.
think having that communication back to you on that one, expectations without control equals empowered leadership. When you don't control
Mm.
your expectations, and you don't like, this is going to be the result because I did this. I used to be that when I'm like, well, I'm capable of this and this, and then people are like, CJ, I'm exhausted,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
I don't have that expectations on people. What I expect is the best out of you, whatever that means. I don't know. right? But this is what we're going to need to do somehow. Like you said, you got to have a little set of expectations. That's just human needs. But I think when you communicate what your expectations are, like, I don't like work that doesn't have autonomy. Don't hold my hand, because I am capable of asking for help if I need help. But you telling me what to do all the time, I'm out. Like, I can't do it, right? So that expectations has to be at the very beginning, because nobody knows, right? So, oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah. You have to communicate them. And for me, again, first think, is this important enough to me to have a resentment about it? And if so, voice it, communicate it, because it is important to you, but you're doing it intentionally then. You understand, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have any expectations with people, because sometimes I also come from a place of hurt from experience.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
And I usually have to backtrack myself, like, CJ, that person is different from that person. And then I argue with my own self after I said that. I'm like, well, I see similarities, you know? And you're like, wait, there's still different people. Oh, we'll just go with it and see what happens. And that's literally my answer at the end, right? Let's talk about lonely. This is kind of...
Yeah.
Oh, so I have a question.
Okay. Shoot.
I've heard this from a couple people. This is like a twofold, but I'll ask the next one later. So do I feel seen and connected in my relationships, or am I surrounded by still lonely?
Yeah, so that's a great journal prompt. I would encourage people to write about, like, if you're feeling lonely, even though you're surrounded by people, to dig into that a little bit, because there are two different feelings, right? One is loneliness, which is it's subjective and means that you don't have as many or as deep of connections as you would like to have. And that's different than isolation, which is an objective count of how many people that you are connected to. Now, here's the thing, both are incredibly important. Feeling lonely is awful. And this part of the book bummed me out the most, because the stats in society that we're getting more lonely, even if we are connected to a lot of people, we end up being connected to a lot of people online, but fewer people off of the internet who we will confide in or who we will think of as a confidant. So in 1990, 75% of people had 3 or more close friends, and now only half of us do. It's pretty tough. And I hear a lot of people who say, I have enough friends. I don't need any more friends. And that might be the case, but think about how many you'd be willing to talk deeply with. Like, how many you would tell the same things that you tell your therapist, maybe, or somebody that you would call a confidant. And that number is probably pretty low. Or how many do you talk to on a consistent basis? Because you might have a lot of friends, but how many times a week are you picking up the phone? You know, not just sending the text, but picking up a phone so you can hear their voice and they can hear yours. And that number seems to be going down for a lot of people. And that's hard. I mean, people need people. We always have and we always will. And like, all of the stats on life satisfaction come back to relationships. So I just saw that comment. CJ is like having 50 friends. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense to me.
Because I told everybody, it's like, hey guys, I have like 25 CJs in my head. So when you talk to the CJ, I don't know which CJ comes out. Just know that the basic core foundation of CJ is kindness, but there is sassiness and sarcastic CJ out there, and really rude CJ out there too. So I'm just telling you. I don't know which one comes out. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I want
Oh
to
my
read
God.
this, and this is actually, I was just looking at the stats on loneliness. It says loneliness in the United States. Okay, it says 20% of U.S. adults report feeling lonely a lot of the day yesterday, marking the highest rate in 2 years, according to the Gallup's National Health and Wellbeing Index. 21% of US adults feel seriously lonely, with many experiencing disconnection from friends, family, or the world. And 30% of Americans aged 18 to 34 report feeling lonely every day or several times a week, indicating higher loneliness levels among younger adults. And 40.3% of American adults experience loneliness at least sometimes, with higher rates states like Alaska, Oregon, and Virginia. Are they talking about West Virginia or regular Virginia? Because I lived in Virginia and we had a lot of barbecue in front of the house. I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah.
global loneliness trends. 23% of people worldwide felt lonely a lot of the day yesterday for the Gallup as well. And it says 1 in 5 employees globally reported experiencing loneliness a lot, and its prevalence of loneliness in the workplace. And here's the thing that kind of strikes me. It says loneliness is associated with increased risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, anxiety, and premature death. The US Surgeon General has declared loneliness a public health epidemic, emphasizing its serious health consequence. Also, rest in peace, 2 days, no, maybe 3 days ago. I don't know if you guys know, I don't know her, named Zoe Holland, and she said goodbye to her friends and family on Facebook. And then a couple minutes later, she was done. She had manic
Yeah.
depression, but she was
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, I don't know why we're celebrating people after they died instead of just when they're alive. Like, seriously, guys, life is so precious, right? So this is like a very serious matter when it comes to loneliness. I actually wanted to ask you, like, during your journey of writing this manuscript, and you said this is the hardest part of writing. Why is it the hardest part?
Well, it's because of the statistics that you're sharing now. I came to the conclusion of all 4 sections, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, this one is the one that matters the most. And the work that you do on yourself in the first part, hungry and angry, really just put you in a position to have healthier relationships, and that's the biggest goal.
Mm.
I mean, the impact on our mortality rate for being lonely, isolated, and living alone are massive. And in that Surgeon General report that you're citing shows that you're actually better off smoking 15 cigarettes a day than being lonely. And the same with obesity. You have a higher mortality rate if you're lonely, isolated, and living alone than if you're obese. So it has an impact on your physical life and your well-being and your mortality rate. And I don't think we think about that. I think we think about it in terms of how happy I am, but to me, that's secondary, really, to how long you're going to live and the quality of life that you're going to have. And it's also, to me, a little like we can fix it, right? Like we can't fix it forever, but we can work on it. We can take 10 minutes to make a phone call instead of doom scrolling. That is in our power. And when I started doing this, I smiled a lot more. It's amazing.
You just showed me. My brain was working, and I'm like, maybe we get a Google Drive with just first name, no last name, Google Drive and a
Mhm.
phone number. And instead of ding dong doorbell, we literally go to that directory and just call 3 people from that phone number and said, "Hey, Charles," or "Hey, Troy, what's up? Who's this?"
Yeah.
The directory. Like, you know what I mean?
So yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up. This is actually one of the things that I like advising people to do is to make more phone calls to their friends. And here are the objections that I hear. One is I don't know who I would call. Okay, this is an easy thing to solve. We can go into our phone, create a group. You can call it Keep in Touch and scroll through. And if you see the name and say, I wonder what they're up to, put them in the list. Like they're already friends with you. It's not like you're cold calling somebody to sell them umbrellas, right? Like you know these people and they're going to be happy to hear from you. You just have to call them. You have to take the step to push call, right? So I hear, I don't know who I'd call. Then I say, oh, I don't even know what I would say to them. Listen, that is a fear that goes away in 10 seconds after you start a conversation. And if you are completely lost, here's a very dependable framework to use. It's Ford. Ask them about their family, ask them about their occupation, ask them about their recreation, and ask them about their dreams. Just go through the list. If you have absolutely no idea what you're going to say to one of your friends, just start there. It's inertia. Once the ball gets rolling, it will keep going, I promise. And then the last one is I don't have time. You sit in traffic, you scroll social media, you do whatever. I promise you are not bothering your friends. They will smile when they see your face just to say hello. And you will smile too.
Yeah, you know that time where your butt actually is numb because you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram? That's the time to call them. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just
Right.
put on mute, guys. When
Yeah.
you flush toilet. I'm just saying that's what I do with Susanna. I'm like, wait, hold on 1 second. Let me flush toilet, and then I mute. And I don't need to tell her, but I just tell her. She's like, sis, we've been to this already. I'm like, I know, but
Oh my God, that's funny.
but
That's super funny.
I'm saying you and me need to create a Google Drive and literally put people first name only. Don't give me no last name. I don't care about last. Like it sounds so formal. Hello, Troy Carnes. This is CJ Leland. Like what? No.
Yeah.
Right? I think we need to create a Google directory, Troy, literally with first name and the phone number. And we just do that. Like, hey guys, call each other up. I mean, that's a cool way to make friends all over the world. We're not talking United States. I'm talking about Google Drive for everybody to have access. I'm thinking.
I see your gears turning.
I know. I was like, hey, I don't want to be lonely. That's sad. Yeah. Okay, so let's try the last one, which is tired, right?
Yeah.
What's one boundary that you need to set to protect your energy when it comes to tiredness? Because I feel like when you're so busy, like for me, I always get asked, how do you have time to do this and that and this and that? I'm like, in my brain, I've already spliced and diced it on what I need to do. And I have my core, what I have to do, like mom stuff and wife stuff, and then work stuff, and then level up stuff. Like that's every day for me. Right.
Yeah.
But how do you, if you don't have that, like, what's the one boundary that you need to like, hey, this is something I don't want to do because I get tired from dealing with drama, or I get tired from doing the same thing. I just want to do something. What is in your book?
This section of the book is largely about sleep and exercise to keep energy up, because it's a flywheel to keep the rest of the system working. And people might roll their eyes, but I started leaving my phone in the other room to go to sleep. I have a dumb alarm clock that's not connected to the internet, and I get to sleep faster, and I sleep better now than I did before, because the TikTok machine is very good at keeping you scrolling. I mean, they all are, right? But I just left it in the other room, and I gave myself an extra 30 to 45 minutes of sleep, which is incredibly important for everything else in your life. It's bananas. It sounds so simple, but so many people have a hard time with it. And that's the number one thing for more and better sleep. Leave the phone in the other room. Leave it in the other room. So it's not a sexy one, I'm sorry, but it's so effective. And then for exercise, okay. I had a shoulder surgery and I couldn't work out for a while, but I was also really overweight. And I just started walking a little bit. It's the only thing I could do. And the difference between doing just a little bit and doing nothing is massive, right? The difference between 0 minutes and like a 10-minute walk is bigger than going from 10 minutes to an hour, whatever. But like, just doing something to move your body a little bit, it's good for your brain. It's obviously good for your body, and it will help you sleep too. So those two things go together, right? Like improving exercise, doing something. And listen, like I'm not a runner. I hate running, so I just don't anymore. I just found other stuff that I enjoy a little bit more, and I'm more consistent with it. But that also helps me sleep better, which means I wake up with more energy. And when you have more energy and you have more sleep, you're more emotionally regulated. So your relationships get better. And again, this energy is all about the flywheel to keep the rest of the system going because it helps your willpower, helps reduce impulsivity. And I thought all of this was BS. Like, I think that we in our society, we have a big, like people wear it as a badge of honor when they pull an all-nighter or they work so much, like, oh, I can work on 5 hours of sleep. And this is not true. The gap between how good you think you are on 5 hours of sleep and how good you actually are is pretty wide. There's lots of studies that will show this too. Your confidence about your abilities on 5 hours of sleep is awful. Don't trust your instincts there. Like you gotta sleep. You have to sleep. Everybody does better when they sleep.
So true. But I am that one person that gets 5 hours. Reason being is if I sleep more, I get really bad migraines. It's so weird. But I do take naps in between. So like my schedule is split. Thank God my work is very flexible. My other full-time job, I have a lot of work.
Yeah.
That they split my schedule because I still have to pick up my daughter, and
Yeah.
I think sometimes they think that my kid is 5. Because I'm like, I have to pick up my daughter. And they're like, okay, how old is she? So I'm like, she's 17. She can't
17.
walk across the street without me. She's like, Mom, I do too. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to hold your hands anymore. Like, but
Yeah.
you're right though. Most people, I mean, you do need sleep. I actually know if my body needs sleep. So when I'm tired, everything feels heavier and decisions takes more effort. And I'm like forgetting what I'm saying most of the time. I'm quicker to actually snap on people or shut down. I struggle to connect
I
with others because my emotional battery is drained. Like I don't deal
yeah.
with your nonsense right now.
Yeah.
And it's not that I
Yeah.
don't care. I just don't
Yeah.
have the energy to respond with kindness or focus when I
Right.
normally would, right?
Yeah,
Um,
right. You don't have the energy. The other night,
no.
this doesn't happen to me very often, but I woke up, I don't know, something woke me up. The dog woke me up or whatever, but and I was having kind of an upsetting dream. I woke up like my heart was pounding and I could not get back to sleep. It was CJ, it was midnight. It was midnight. I just started my day because I couldn't get back to sleep, right? Like good best practices are to stay out of your bed until you are tired and go back. I tried, didn't work. I just started my day. So I got like 4 hours of sleep. It was awful. And I felt hungover. Like I've been drinking almost 4 years. I felt hungover. And that is the impact of sleep. It's like it drains everything. So it's super important, and it's just a basic fundamental. Like without the right amount of rest, you're not going to have the energy to keep everything else going in an optimal way.
Yeah. And also, like, when you're fatigued, guys, you go on autopilot, right? You're just getting by instead of being present. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm driving, right? And I know I need to do something, I'm like, I'll remember. And then I'm going home. You're like, what the heck did I just do? I needed that one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Oh, let me go back
yeah,
again, right?
yeah,
Because you're on
yeah,
autopilot. Your
yeah,
brain just not function well, right?
yeah,
But also if you have ADHD and you're talking to your daughter and you're like, wait, I need to go get soda, and you come home, you're like, wait, I missed something, and your daughter's like, oh,
yeah,
soda. I'm like, oh, what? Let's
ah,
go back.
yeah,
Let's go back. I'm
yeah.
kidding. We're not home yet. And then my husband's like, were you just in the garage? Did you just leave? I'm like, no, you're seeing things. Ooh, let's go hurry up.
Yeah.
I guess
And
my
listen, like you were looking up some stats before, and you're talking about driving, and we're talking about not sleeping. I mean, just look at the stats on traffic accidents when we change the clocks. And everybody gets one fewer hour of sleep, traffic accidents go up because we're not paying attention, we're not as sharp, and then we're driving and we crash our cars.
that actually gives me really bad mood because all of my commitments, like because I have international people that works for me, they're like, CJ, you are early. And I'm like, no, we change clocks in America now. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm sorry, right? And then it takes
Mm-hmm.
about a month for me to like regulate the whole thing. And so I'm
Yeah.
really moody for that whole month of changing clocks, whether
Yeah.
it's forward or backwards. It messes up my energy, my everything. But you're right. Changing clocks, it says here from, where is it? Malmegal.com. It's a 6% increase in fatal crashes after spring forward. And they had a 732,000 fatal motor vehicle accidents from 1996 to 2017. 6% rise in fatal crashes. What?
Yeah.
It says the loss of 1 hour sleep can lead to circadian misalignment. Oh yeah, that's not cool. I don't like that. And I feel weird too. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, it must be in my head, but it's not. So here's what my last question about your book and manuscript.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
which part of halt shows up most frequently in your daily life, and how can we nurture it? Or is it all at once?
Yeah, none of these things happen in isolation. They're all connected to each other. I segment them because it's easier for us to think about, and people like action. And each part of the book then has actionable strategies and systems that people can put into place that will all help each other. But it is truly a system, right? And that's sort of the point, right? One of my big things is I want to encourage people to just stop trying to fix all these problems, because we play problem whack-a-mole, right? Here's a problem, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. But guess what? They're never done. And in these 4 areas, I found you get better results when you nurture them versus looking for quick fixes, because quick fixes are usually just quick. They don't fix much. And these areas don't have solutions. We're going to get hungry every single day because we're people. We're going to have emotions every single day because we're people. We have relationships because we're a social species. We have to sleep and we move our bodies and we'll get more energy, right? Like, none these things aren't going away. There's no silver bullet to completely end it. So you got to nurture them instead. So is there one single thing? No, man, I do but the point is it's a little bit. If you can nurture each one a little bit at a time, then you start to get a snowball effect, or there's some inertia with these habits, and it gets a little bit easier. Now, I'm going to change your question to one that I have an answer for, which is like, what's the number one thing I would take out of the book? And if I were to eliminate everything out of my self-care routine and just leave one, it would be my journal. I would keep journaling, because there are massive effects, not only for my own emotional well-being, but for my relationships. And you talked about resentments before. That's one of the big things, in my style of journaling. I have, the 7 most important things in my life, and I write about 1 a day. And because I return to the same topics over and over and over again, it doesn't really leave room to build resentments more than a week before I reflect on it again. So if I'm going to keep one thing, it's that I will keep writing, and writing on these 7 pillars, I think, is incredibly important. So I would keep that around.
Obviously, Mike didn't realize we talked about this. You didn't pay attention, so now I know you didn't pay attention. Troy, when does your book come out? Between June and August, right?
Yeah, it's either we make that decision Tuesday, but it's either the middle of June, like June 16th, 17th, 18th, or second week in August. Because I go to the lake in July, so it can't be July. So it's one or the other.
Yeah, so it's gonna be. I just wanted to hear it again. That was forever ago. That was at the beginning of the show.
But yeah, now we're 50 minutes, and I appreciate Mike. Yeah, so
yeah,
June or August.
yeah.
Not in between.
No. Mike and I are actually tag teaming to help Troy get this to as many hands as possible. because it's important, right? We care about people who care about others, and Troy does. This is his link, guys. I put it on the chat. You can click on it, troykarnes.com. And then also his LinkedIn. So just put hashtag Troy, not hashtag, / Troy Karnes on LinkedIn. And I'm thinking Instagram always. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. I'm like hashtag.
Okay. Yeah.
And then of course, making sure that you guys are here because Troy is here. Also enhance the business community as always. And Troy, any last minute message for anyone when it comes to just life in general, like where to start?
Where to start? Well, if there's one message that I want to get out to people, is that your life isn't broken and you don't need to fix it. And maybe that's counterintuitive to a lot of self-help advice, but I don't think it's broken. I don't think you need to fix it. I think you need to nurture the things that are most important. And if you start nurturing the things that are most important, you're going to get better results than if you run around trying to fix everything all the time. This comes from like a reformed fixer of everything. And I got better results when I moved to nurturing the important things. So that's my number one message. Your life isn't broken. I think it's worth nurturing.
Yeah, and there is no quick fix on anything. Despite you can't buy your life in Amazon, guys. I'm just saying it's going to be delivered in this afternoon. No, life is just a journey for you to really live it. Be present. Learn as much as you can, but you don't have to learn everything or feel the need to learn everything, which I do, by the way. So I'm giving you that advice, but I'm not taking it. Just being authentic.
I was going to ask CJ, are you talking to me or you're talking to yourself?
I'm talking to myself.
Advice for yourself out loud. I love it. Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, hey, I'm putting myself under the bus. Also, I haven't thanked YouTube. We hit 700 almost here. We're almost at 500 live watchers today. Thank you so much, YouTube, for
you guys are the best.
Yes. Thank you. And this is an important conversation to have because learning to facilitate your own life while watching it happening is the most difficult thing you've ever do. But it's your life. Live it, be present, and enjoy everything, the bads, the goods, the hurts, the drama, the non-drama, the non-existent, the whole thing. And definitely go see a doctor if you're having issues more of like some symptoms that you're when you're lonely, right? Like go to the doctors. I know I have to because I'm scared of cancer getting back. Like I felt like something's happening again because it's been 2011 since that happened to me. And I haven't been to the doctor for the last 5 years since COVID. Ooh. Yeah. And so I need to go back and I'm like, ooh. And I always tell myself, I don't have cancer. I'm fat. I'm good. Like,
I go, I'm on Monday. I'm going to go sit in an MRI machine for an hour and a half for my surveillance. So
wow. I've already did that. I have my MRI for my brain. I have white matters in my frontal lobe. And my dad's like, maybe you stop thinking, CJ. Maybe that thing, your migraine thing is going to stop. I'm like, Dad, really? And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, just stop thinking. Don't do nothing. And so I tried that. My go-to place is the beach. And I don't know what you guys' go-to place are, but find that happy place that you're just you and no phone, no nothing. Just it's hard because we're so attached to it, but try what Troy is doing and just see it for yourself. Sometimes it works for others and it might not work for you, but how would you know if it works for you if you don't try, right?
Exactly.
Just try.
Right.
Wow. HOB is here. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Troy, for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate being here too. And all of the support, 500 people. That's amazing. That's great. Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. See ya.